What's up, Juggernauts? In this video, we're going to be discussing how to make an extra $1,000 per month. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this was because not so long ago, I had a payroll job, and there were times that if I just had a couple extra $100, maybe I could have kept my water on, all right? I know how painful it can be. I understand it. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how to make that extra $1,000 a month, and it's a lot easier than you think. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Let's go ahead and dive into it.
Now's the time to hit that stupid little subscribe button.
Your Majesty, I simply don't do it.
Come on, you do it. You do it.
No, I don't.
You want to do it. We all do it. We love to do it. I just did it and I'm ready to do it again. Don't tell me you don't do it.
So in this video, I will be laying out some basic tips on how to gain $1,000 in revenue, and if you are already in the industry. So if you're already in the industry, this might be pretty basic for you. What I want to do is encourage you to put down in the comments your tips and tricks on how to get to $1,000 in revenue. So the first thing to do whenever you're trying to achieve any financial goal, I think the best thing to do is to reverse engineer it and just do the math. So whether it's 50,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever it is, and in this case, $1,000, the thing to do is to reverse engineer it. And what I mean by that is how much of whatever you're selling is it going to take to get that $1,000. So in this case, there are 20 workable days in the month. If you work a payroll job and you have weekends off and you want to keep weekends off. So you're going to leverage the extra time before or after work to make that extra $1,000, and you're gonna still retain weekends off, or you're going to put all of these on weekends and you're gonna work weekends when you're not working your job. However you want to do it, however you want to schedule it, it doesn't matter, but you're gonna do it when you're not at your other job. And if you have a situation where you don't have a job right now, this is a perfect scenario for you to just dive in, get in there and just build it. That's what happened with me. If you have the situation of having a payroll job and you're in that position, don't worry and try to force it into something before it's ready, because the fact is, having the extra income from the job that you have to pay your bills will allow you to take the profit from what you're doing and reinvest it into better equipment and stuff like that down the road, okay? So what I'm going to do is lay out a real simple low cost, high profit setup and scenario, and how you would achieve that $1,000 a month so that you can have a source of revenue without spending a ton of money, because the idea is you're trying to make extra income to pay that bill, right? So at least an extra $250 a week. I know that would have been, like I said, something that really would have helped me out. So in this case, when we're reverse engineering it, how much do you need to make? Well, you need to make $50 a day. That's a pretty small amount. It's a very, very, very small amount. $50 a day, 20 days a week. Or $50 a day, 20 days in a month. Okay? Not very hard. You get to $1,000. Now, if you want to change the math on whatever and you want to make $2,000 extra a month, all you have to do is scale that up a little bit. You're going to have the same 20 days, but you're going to mow 2 yards after work. It's pretty simple. So what are you going to need for this? Now, in your head, you might immediately go to equipment. What do I need for equipment to do this? And if you don't have anything, it's very understandable that you jump right to that. But I think a lot of people get into business and immediately they think about equipment when they need to be thinking about, how do I retain work? How do I get the jobs in so that I can create revenue, so I can create that money? So in this scenario, what I'm going to say is the most important part first is figuring out your ad message. You want to sell $50 lawns, and you want to sell 5 of those a week. Okay? You really only need 5 lawns to make $1,000 a month. Just 5, because you're going to be servicing them weekly. You're going to be there once a week, 4 times a month, okay? Very, very simple. So what do you want to do? You want to gain 5 clients. Now there's a few different methods you could use. But here's how I would lay it out. I would either use flyers, door hangers, or Facebook marketing, and that's what you're going to do in the very beginning. Why? Because they're inexpensive. So flyers, you can get those printed black and white with a message that you're in business. You want to have something along the lines of, just what you're going to offer in the service, as well as a call to action or an incentive on price or whatever it might be. If you have the option where you have a job already, I'm going to try to persuade you to not be the lowballer and go out and cut lawns for $20, $25, $35. The reason being is that you already have a job that's paying your bills. And so the argument needs to be made, how much do you make if you were to work overtime? Because you need it to pay you more than if you were to work overtime. That's assuming you had the option to work overtime. But either way, you should look at it as that is time that's above and beyond your normal work week. How do I make time and a half of what I'm already making? So if you make $10, you need to make at least $15 an hour. If you make $20, well, you need to make $30 an hour. It's whatever. I would encourage you to, like I said, go out and shoot for $50 lawns. But if you're in an area that's a little more rural, like in this situation, I'm cutting a lawn in a suburb. This is one of our $50 lawns. It's about 10,000 square foot. If you were going to push mow this specific lawn, it would be probably about an hour to service this property. Now, having said that, it's not that big of a deal. So how do you make an extra time and a half in that extra hour? Well, just go above and beyond, sell it way higher. All right, so we're shooting for $50 a lawn. Why? Because you have a payroll job already. Don't undercut yourself. Don't sell yourself short. There are going to be some expenses in any business that you do, even if it's a side hustle and it's just cash under the table. All right, I don't judge you if you do that. But so we're going to go flyers. You can print. Generally, you can either print these at home, or you can go to Office Max, Office Depot, something of that nature. You can get on Vistaprint, and you can print them cheap. You could go to a local print shop. It doesn't matter. When I first started, I went to a local print shop. I got 1,000 flyers that were black and white. It was about a page long, talking about what I offered in the service. I said I mow edge, weed eat, blow off, take care of this, that, and the other in your property. And I highlighted the price on there, my starting price, and I highlighted my phone number and stuff. But I printed it black and white, and it only cost me $45. So that's a method you could use. If you don't want to print anything and you don't want to go throw them out on doors, then what I would suggest is leveraging your power base, which is the people you know, either through word of mouth, telling them, hey, I'm doing this, or get on Facebook and tell the people in your area that we service, that we're going to do some services. We're going to try to pick up 5 lawns or however many you're going to pick up, and just be straightforward. Say, hey, we're needing to make extra money. This could really help us out. We're wanting to pick up an extra 5 lawns. That's what I can take on, and just go from there. And I would highly suggest you to try to keep this either to one small town if you're in a small town, or if you're in a larger area like I'm in a metro area, I would suggest keeping it down to 1 or maybe 2 neighborhoods, especially if you're doing flyers and door hangers, because what you're going to want to do at first is just put it all over the place, and that's not going to work. Okay, so what I'm going to try to tell you is to keep it in one specific area. That's going to help you out to stay very profitable and keep your expenses low. 1, you're not going to be driving all over the place. 2, it's just they're closer, so if for some reason you got to go back or whatever it might be, they're there, and it's close to your house, so you can have your house as your hub for your business, where you have a little bit of this or that at home. Now, what are you going to need equipment wise? Well, you're going to need a push mower, a weed eater, a blower. An edger is optional because you can use a weed eater, and then you're going to need gas cans that offer, you're going to need 2 of them, 1 for straight gas, 1 for mix. You're going to need some 2-stroke oil, and you're going to need some weed eater string and some PPE, so some safety glasses and gloves and some hearing protection. That's really all you need, is just some basic equipment. You might already have that in your garage or your shed, but if you don't, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link down below that just shows you kind of the push mower and the weed eater and stuff like that I would choose if I was starting out. If you don't have money starting out, don't worry, I started with absolutely no money. You could even go out and offer to pull weeds out of somebody's flower bed, and you could make the extra money to buy that push mower, to buy the blower, to do all of that stuff, and to get going. Okay, I had a buddy that was pushing the push mower around from house to house in the neighborhood that I live in, and he started out with no blower, just a weed eater and a push mower, and he would sweep off the concrete when he was done. And you know what, before too long, it was less than a year later that he was actually making about $10,000 a month in his business. So this is something that you could do, and you could either use it for supplemental income to raise up your household income and pay that extra bill, or you could actually transition and turn it into a full-time job. It's really all up to you. I hope this helped. I am going to be doing videos in the future where I'm actually fully laying out my door hanger strategy, my flyer strategy, what I put on my ads, how I handle things, what equipment we use now, what equipment we fully started with, and you know, how to go from not only making $1,000 a month, but I also have a video where I talked about how I made $20,000 a month in revenue. Now that sounds great, but there is expenses that's going to happen in any business. But all that said, this right here was about a 10-minute property. We knocked it out and we made $50 in 10 minutes. Okay, so if we can do that, just know that you can do it in an hour. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with the smaller equipment. There's a lot of people out there doing it. I highly encourage you to go out, run the hustle, stay strong, stay motivated, and make that money. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, I would highly suggest that you do it, because there's going to be some very good content coming up that will help you if you're starting your business, as well as if you are already in a business. So if you want to watch some more of my videos, here's a video on how to use a leaf blower, and it shows a lot of backpack blower tips. And here's another video on a large leaf cleanup video that we made $1,100 off of in one day.